Um, I have decided to go live because I haven't done this in a very long time, and I am currently stuck in the house recovering from surgery. So I figured I have the time to hop on here and um, answer your guys' questions. So if you have any questions, put them in the chat. We'll hang out for maybe like an hour, maybe two, and go from there. Hello, 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 hello. I apologize. I'm shaking up a liquid IV. I also have a heat lamp on the side of my face. Hey man, how are you? I've been better. Um, for those of you who don't know, because none of you would know, I didn't post about it. I had abdominal surgery last Friday. I was in the hospital for 5 days. Not super fun. If I showed you my stomach, it's all cut up right now, but healing, and I'm actually up and around today. I did some walking today, and I actually got a press car today, which I can't even like drive yet. Um, but things are getting better. It's just going to be a very very long time, but it's going to be a long road to recovery. So I'm probably going to say it a million times. I had abdominal surgery. I'm doing better. If you are on the Patreon, I know some of you on here are. I apologize for I haven't even been posting on Patreon because I haven't been editing videos or shooting videos. Just because I've been in the hospital. I was in the hospital for 5 days last week. The week before that, I was in the hospital for 6 days. Um, there was a gap in between that I was able to shoot some stuff, but then I had to go back to the hospital, and there's a whole thing. So hopefully that chapter is behind me. Um, Abdominal surgery. I got basically they took a big chunk of my intestines out. Glad you're here. Yeah, abdominal surgery. So I, I'm probably going to answer that question a million times. I totally get that. I just want to put that in the title to kind of describe why my hair is all crazy. I haven't showered in 2 days because I can't really shower with the front half. There's a lot of stitching and things going on. So I apologize for the disheveledness. But if you guys have questions, I will try to answer them best I can. I only have my phone with me. I'm actually at my parents' house. Um, so I only have my phone. So normally I have like an iPad or like a secondary screen so I could scroll through and read every comment. So if I don't get to your comment, I apologize because I just have to work on the tiny little iPhone screen. So is there not going to be posts for a while? Probably. So YouTube posts should be fine. I have those scheduled out, I believe, through the second week of January, and I should be healthy enough to resume filming by like early January. And so that will be fine. Patreon, there's not going to be posts for a while because Patreon, I post them as soon as I edit them. And so I haven't been editing. I know I have, once I go back to my house, again, I'm at my parents' house because they live very, very close to a hospital, just in case anything comes up. Um, Once I get back to my desk, I have two videos to edit. That would be a 2000 Jeep Wrangler that I shot the day before I went into the hospital, and the Lexus LS full review. I did, which will be up on YouTube later, but it's on Patreon. I did like a goodbye to the LS video. I also have a review of that as well, so that will go up on Patreon as well. But you shouldn't notice anything on YouTube like slowing up or anything like that. So excuse me, I need to stay hydrated. Question to cheer you up. I bought a 2003 Town Car, low miles, rust free from Florida, and I'm in NYC. Would you like to drive it? And why do you think they stopped making apartment sized cars? Yes, I would like to drive it next time I go to NYC. Why they stopped making apartment sized cars is that it's really fuel efficiency. It's really people just don't want sedans right now. And I know, and that's kind of my point in the Lexus LS video. And I know there's a lot of people in the comment section right now that are going to say, I want a sedan. Like, I love sedans. I've always loved sedans. And I personally, like, I've always loved sedans as well. But the people that are writing the checks and swiping the cards, um, you know, they don't want to spend the 60, 70, $80,000 on sedans. So, if you're going to be spending that money, which cars are expensive, people want the most bang for their buck, and that's visually an SUV it's just bigger. You physically get more metal and rubber and plastic per dollar in SUVs than you do in cars. So that would be my take on that. What automatic car would you most like to see in a 5 or 6 speed, old or new? I wish we got a compact SUV in stick. What like like the CRV was, like the Mazda MX-5 was, like the RAV4 was, I believe. I would love some type of offering for that. It would never sell here. But older cars, what older cars need a stick? The IROC Z needed a stick pretty bad. The 85 IROC needed a stick. All right, 1 second. I have the heat lamp on me because it's freezing in this room, and now I'm sweating real bad. So give me 2 seconds. All right. Okay. You cannot get a new X3 in stick. I saw that. Are you rolling out new titles or shirt color for the new year? Yes, I will. I asked you this on Patreon. Do you think Cars 2 deserves the hate? It's the least favorite movie of the trilogy, but it's also still a good movie. Surgery, what did I miss? I had abdominal surgery and am recovering. Zach, I wish you a quick recovery from surgery. I hope everything goes well. Thank you. I have a question for you. If someone offered you a school bus to review, would you review one? It's funny you mentioned that. I just got this today. This is an Arma Gorgon Grum, and I got the Proline body for it. So I've actually been very school bus focused today. Yes, I did a school bus that was converted into a camper a long, 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 long time ago. Probably 2017 or 2018, very early on in my career. But that was a short bus. So that was the Ford E350 front end with a short bus put on the back, and it was also converted to a camper. Yes, 100%. I would review a bus. It's funny, I actually saw a TikTok today of a pink Dodge Charger limo, and in my head, I'm like, I wanna film more weird stuff in 2026. It's like when a guy I know constantly complains he wants to buy a basic car, but he's too cheap to ever buy or want one. Car companies don't care what people want to buy when they're old. True. You can get an X3 in stick. No, you can't. Not new ones. Have you seen any of the GR Sport cars that aren't sold in the U.S.? No, but I do have a very exciting update on that. As of now, I'm working on a Japan trip. So I'm trying to find a GR Yaris to film while I'm in Japan next year. So hopefully I can bring you something like that. There used to be a Supercross truck that came in a 6 speed. Yeah, I wish we got that option. Hey Zach, what are your thoughts on the F series from 99 to 03 turbo diesel? Turbo diesel, so like the Super Duties, great. Never driven the F like 150 from that era. So I have a question, longtime viewer, first time questioner. Yeah, let me know, Jetta. I don't see your question in here. Zach, thanks for making your bed. Hey, man, it takes me about 5 minutes to get in and out of my bed. So I will not be making it while I'm recovering. Zach, how many cars are you willing to review in a day? The most I've done was 9. I did 9 reviews in one day. It was up in Minnesota. To be fair, the first guy I reviewed, or whose cars I reviewed, he had 7 cars for me to film. So that took me from 7 a.m. and this was June of 2024. So like the sun rose at 6. So I was filming at 7, and then I filmed all the way up until like 3 with him. I drove across town. I did an Eddie Bauer Explorer, and then I drove across town again. And as the sun was starting to come down, I did a base model Nissan Frontier with a manual, and that was like I had done 9 cars that day, and I don't really want to do that again. I will do it. I might do that in Japan just because I have so few days there. But it's rough. It's a lot. Thank you, Retro Steven, for the $5. I appreciate that. Um, what old classic car would you like to see a modern remake of? I've always said the Dodge Monaco. I think Dodge has a really good opportunity to do a non-performance sedan. The Monaco was never a performance sedan. It was a little bit classier. Um, I think the V6 Chargers are good cars, but they're fine to drive, but they just have this stigma because everyone makes them look angry, and it's like it's not what it's about. I would love to see a Dodge sedan that's like a little bit more regal. From the soggy Pacific Northwest, get better soon. Merry Christmas to you and your family. Thank you. I appreciate it. I hope you're doing well up there. What's up, Zach? Hello, hello. As a fellow big guy, do you hate watching yourself on video like I do? 2026 is our year. I'm actually down 30 pounds since the last video that you guys saw of me. So that's cool. Not by choice. I've had 6 or 7 meal 6, 7. I've had 6 or 7 meal, or I had 6 or 7 meals within the course of November because I had this abdominal pain. So I really didn't eat for like a whole month, which is not the way to lose weight. Um, the whole editing yourself and seeing yourself on video, you do get used to it a little bit more. And there's almost this sort of dissonance where like I'll watch a video of mine or like I'll be editing a video of mine and I don't even really recognize it as me, if that makes sense. Like it feels like it's some other dude. And sometimes I'll be editing it and I'm like, I said that, or like, why did I say that? Um, there's a lot of, in this job you learn a lot about yourself. You learn about your audio idiosyncrasies. You learn about weird things, weird ways that you say things. Thank you, Nathan. I appreciate it. And guys, please do not feel the need to donate. I appreciate everyone that does. I do have medical bills now, but that's not the reason I put it in the title. I just wanted to kind of explain why I'm in my childhood bedroom, and disheveled and trying to drink water. And if I do have to cut the stream short because of pain, I might have to go lay down, things like that. Um, seeing yourself on video, it's weird. And I go back and I see like hairstyles and things like that, and I'm like, oh, that didn't work. But you kind of get used to it, and onward and upward, I guess. Um, well, wow, I'm really behind here. Um, That's why Monster Truck School Bus is very cool. Thank you for showing us that. Yeah, it's an Arma Gorgon. So this is the stock body, the Arma Gorgon. It's like 170 bucks right now, I think, on Amazon, and then the body was like an extra 30. What is the best car to ride home from in surgery? I rode home in a Mazda CX-5, which I'll probably mention in a future video because it had power reclining seats. Because like this is probably the most comfortable position for me, just structurally at the moment. You should track down a GR Sport Corolla or a GR Sport Copen. That would be really interesting to see you reviewing. Yeah, if I could find one. I've always wanted to go to Japan, lose all my money. Yes, I probably will. Zach, thank you for everything. I can't stay long. I appreciate it, Retro Steven. Thanks to, I've actually started my own car review channel. Great, that's awesome. I always tell people the best day to start a car review YouTube channel is yesterday. It's a really cool thing. Obviously, it's what I do full time, and I'm always, if you ever have direct questions, just shoot me a message. Usually on Instagram is probably the best way to get a hold of me. But yeah. Excuse me. I is reviewing 27 cars asking for too much in one day? Yes. A month? No. That's usually I film more than 27 cars in a month. Greetings from Philippines. Haven't been watching your videos for a while. Oh, I appreciate it. Thank you. Weird question. But would you review a Zamboni or riding lawnmower? Yes, probably for like an April Fool's or like um I don't know, like just for fun. But I don't think I'd do a lot of them. But I would definitely. You've been compared to a certain YouTuber who talks about quirks and features, but you're more down to earth. How do you plan to craft your brand in 2026 to differentiate yourself? It's a good question. Um, I appreciate it. And every time someone compares me to someone like that, it does mean a lot. Um, I think I don't want to set expectations, but this trip that I have planned in February to Japan, I think this is going to be a very pivotal moment for my channel because that is the end goal that I have always been reaching for has been to travel and review cars. Of course, like still reviewing 90s American cars, 80s American cars, and American culture cars for sure. But I've always had my end goal of traveling outside the country, reviewing what does an old lady in the mountains of Japan drive? What does she drive? What's her day-to-day experience? And experiencing cultures, people, geopolitics through cars because that's the lens that I see everything through. When I meet someone, I always ask them what they drive, and that gives me a better picture of who they are as a person rather than their favorite color. So I think this trip in February will be very defining and see kind of what direction this takes on. And if so, then I'll do 10 days in Canada and drive micras and weird cars. Um, I want to do 10 days in Australia and drive a bunch of Holdens and, weird cars that we didn't get. I want to do a month in Europe and drive not Lada, well, Ladas, but Skodas and Opals and Astra Diesels and things like that. So, anyway, so that's it. That's what I think. I apologize. I'm really behind here on the questions. Hi Zach, hope you get well soon. I bought my Mini Cooper SE in 2023, and you're welcome to review it when you're ready. Hope you have a fast recovery. Oh, well, thank you. I saw these are two different people. Thank you. I appreciate it. Yeah, shoot me an email if you haven't already. Hope you have a fast recovery. I gotta have surgery tomorrow. Again, this is surgery number 4. I'm so sorry. Surgery sucks. This was my first major one, and it's wishing you the best. But modern medicine, you're born in the best era to have surgery. I mean, I thought about like, what if I had this surgery in like 1904? Like they would have just like used a hatchet. At this point, just become a truck driver. It seems like all you do is drive. That is true, but I like driving different things, not the same thing for 15 hours. Quoting Blues Brothers, love that. I noticed immediately you looked thinner. I thought it was due to the different camera. Stay healthy, bro. Thank you. Will a car equipped with a CVT go as fast in reverse as they do forward? I don't know. I think like physically, but they limit it. What things would you do to make a second gen Dodge Ram better? Get a dash cover or a protective dash mat, and just rust proof the absolute crap out of it. Financial assistance saved me. Agreed. Evening, Zach. Wishing you a speedy recovery. I'm also recovering from a motorbike crash that affected one of my vertebrae. Tis but a scratch. So glad you're okay. That sounds gnarly. I wish you a very speedy recovery. Do you think Dodge should bring the Imperial brand? No, I think they need to strengthen their main brands, and then maybe if they're balling on not balling on a budget, if they're balling out of control in 2045, yeah, bring Imperial back. But I don't think that that's what they need right now. They tried to make Wagoneer its own upscale thing, and that did not end well. I've asked you this before, but didn't frame it correctly. Have you thought of build quality test segment? You said you wouldn't do that on old cars, which makes sense. But how about only new cars? Um, I have thought a lot about this. There's actually a YouTuber that I know that does his YouTube channel is literally build quality test. Um, there's a couple of reasons why I don't do it. First of all, I want all my reviews to be a similar, if not the same format. So, like, if you see I uploaded a video of a school bus, you know that you're going to see the gauge cluster of the school bus. You know that you're going to see, all the buttons and dials. You know that I'm going to talk about the engine and transmission first, and then I'm going to talk about the interior, then I'm going to talk about the exterior, then I'm going to give you final thoughts. I like doing things in that sort of almost cookie cutter way, so I can just kind of plug in whatever car I am. Build quality tests, obviously, I don't want to do it on older cars just because, a 55-year-old car, if I press on it, it might break because it's been on this earth. It's been through 55 summers and 55 winters. With the new car stuff, usually I try to point out in the video, I'm like, oh, this feels high quality, or this doesn't feel high quality. A lot of owners of new cars and a lot of dealerships, especially, don't like you like pressing on it and creaking and things like that. I don't know. Leave in the comments if you guys saw the video of those guys in the auto show and they were pulling apart that new Jeep. And they were like pulling on the screen and they were pulling on different stuff. And they were like, oh, this is a $60,000 car and it has such bad quality. I have some insights behind that. I actually talked to um, Jeep. I talked to Jeep corporate. Um, those guys are not allowed like near any new Jeep product ever again, basically. Um, and I bet that video really rubbed me the wrong way because they were pushing and poking on stuff, and like in a production car or like in something like that, 100%, like that should be bolted down. But the car that they were doing that to was a pre-production car, and so that was like that car, it was the Jeep Recon. That car doesn't exist. The Jeep Recon, like, is not a vehicle yet. There's 2 of them. They were hand built so you could look at it and you could go in and say, "Oh, this is what it's going to be like. Interesting." And I know Jeep has struggled in the past with build quality, but that was a prototype car. So basically, getting back to my point of like some cars I drive are prototype cars. And so I don't want to be pushing and prodding and doing certain tests that I can't duplicate. Or maybe, if I do a sound test, I get the microphone real close and see how it creaks. What if I film on a rainy day? Then you're going to get the rain in the background. It's going to sound a lot louder. So it's just basically I don't do like very specific quality tests because of continuity, and I don't usually do like the car confection guys, which are close friends of mine, really super down to earth guys. Um, they do like their audio test, which I think is great, and they have a great way of standardizing it. But like, I drive so many different cars on so many different roads, and especially here in Illinois, you can find a smooth as silk road, and then you turn a corner, and it's like a battleground. So yeah, that's a very long-winded answer. I apologize. I'm way behind on these. Um, what's a weird, quirky vehicle that you're hoping to review in 2026? I mean, the short answer is all of them. Just everything quirky and weird. Hey, have you reviewed a 2015 Chevy Malibu? I think I did way back in the day. I think you emailed me though. Someone just emailed me about a Chevy Malibu, so I'd be down again. Can you review some commercial vehicles like buses, trucks, cranes? If I can, I don't have a CDL, so that might be tricky. But if I am able to, which I'm actually gonna bring this a little closer so I can scroll. Um, if I'm able to, yes, in short. Hey Zach, how did the collaboration with Ford and Eddie Bauer? How did the collaboration with Ford and Eddie Bauer dead after 2010? How did it die? I mean, I think they just kind of cut ties. I'm in California. I'm wondering if you can do a Land Cruiser comparison. I have a 1979, 1989 to 1996. Yeah, so the comparison videos, those are all situational. So like for me to do a comparison video, like I said with like the build quality stuff, like I need to have the cars side by side. Like I need to have them on the same day in the same terrain, driving on the same roads, because otherwise I feel like it's not fair. If I drive a Subaru Impreza today in the cold and then do the other comparison part when it's sunny and hot in Reno, Nevada, it's not fair. So if I can find 2 Land Cruisers, I mean, that'd be great. Hey Zach, hoping for the best. What's one car you thought was going to suck and turned out surprising you? Oh, jeez. I get this question a lot. That's a tough one. I don't know. I think back in the day, not as much anymore, but like the GMs, I always grew up thinking like 90s GMs were very crappy cars. And on their surface, they kind of are build quality wise. But some of the ride quality, what sticks out is the 19, which this isn't a 90s car, but the 1978 Cadillac Eldorado Baritz that I drove. The owner was like, "Oh, it has the most comfortable seats you've ever sat in." Um, this owners always speak in hyperbole. Um, that owner was not speaking hyperbole, and so that was the most comfortable car I had sat in. I have the Land Cruisers. I'm asking if you were in there. Yes, when I come to California, yes. Hey Zach, I wonder how the big friggin' bottle test started. Okay, I tell this story usually once a year. I was gonna do a big friggin' bottle test wrap up video for the end of 2026. I still, or 2025. I might still do that when I get home. I have to get my life sorted out. The big friggin' bottle test, which I haven't seen the big friggin' bottle in over a week because I've been in the hospital. So I hope it's doing well back at my home. Um, the big friggin' bottle test started, the idea started in 2020. I wanted some type of standardized test that I could do in every video and make a spreadsheet out of. Just because A, I like statistics like that, but B, I wanted something that, like, if you don't care about the new Ram 2500 turbo diesel, which I have sitting out front right now, Ram just dropped it off today, so I could go to doctor's appointments with the 7.5 turbo diesel. Um, Even if you don't care about turbo diesels, you might tune into the video just to see, did the big freaking bottle pass? Something common that people could see and check into every video and just say, hey, did it pass or not? Cool. Obviously, for older cars, nothing older than 1988 has ever passed. So I originally was going to go to Walmart and buy a big cup. I was going to do a small cup. I took very heavy inspiration from the straight pipes. They did the visor test, and I love that. But I wanted to do something different and something a little bit more practical too. Which, funny enough, I've since I met the straight pipes 2, 3 months ago. Lovely, lovely guys. They are truly, truly wonderful. So I was hemming and hawing, never really did anything. And then Christmas of 2020, went over to my friend's house, and she had bought me what is now the big friggin' bottle. It's a Yeti 26-ounce bottle. And she said she bought it for me, A, because I had a kidney stone that year. And she's like, you need to drink water. But B, she said, I got it for you because it fits in the cup holder of your car. And I thought, oh, this is so thoughtful, so nice. So I take it and I put it in the cup holder of my Mazda 3, and it doesn't fit. And I was like, well, it's the thought that counts. That was very nice of her. Merry Christmas, blah, blah, blah. The next day, I reviewed a Bronco Sport, the very first Bronco Sport I ever reviewed. And then I reviewed a Honda HRV, which this is the previous generation. And I brought it along to the Ford dealer, drove the Bronco Sport, and I was like, I had the water bottle with me. I was trying to drink water, shoved it in the cup holder, and it didn't work. And I'm like, okay, so this just doesn't work in cup holders. Then I drove to the Honda dealer and I drove the Honda HRV and I put my water bottle in it and it fit. And I was like, oh, so there's some type of math to this or pattern. Excuse me. Very burpy since surgery. So I started the big freaking bottle test and people seem to like it. And now, like when I go out and film things, sometimes people ask for a picture with me, and that's very nice. Um, a lot of times people say, "Can I get a picture holding the big friggin' bottle?" Like the big friggin' bottle is more of its own celebrity now. So that's the long-winded way. I apologize. I'm really behind here. Zach is far more accurate than the other guy. He doesn't make up facts about cars, and Zach seems like he actually enjoys them instead of making fun of them. I do enjoy the cars that I drive. Like people are people are always like, "Oh, every video he's like, I'm so excited to be driving this." When this is your job, when my job is going to drive vintage cars, or I get to go drive a the VR6 swap Jetta that I just put out, or like when my day job, I got a full schedule ahead of me. When I was in Phoenix a couple of weeks ago, I drove 6 JDM cars in one day. When that's your job, that's what you get paid to do. That's how you earn a living. That's how you spend your days. It's easy to say in the videos, I'm super excited to be doing this because I have friends that work at Amazon warehouses. I have friends that, I have so many friends, and even the people in the hospital who work 12-hour shifts on their feet. They're cleaning up after people and doing surgeries and things like that. Like, that sucks. I mean, I have point blank, like, that it's rough. And so I understand that this line of work, although it is a lot of work and I've put a lot of effort into it, and it's taken a long time to get to where I am, it's very, very privileged that I'm able to do what I do. And so that's why at every single video I say I'm super excited, because it's more of a verbal, reminder to myself of, like, even on my bad days when I'm like, oh, I don't want to go film this, Mercedes, whatever. Ugh, I have to get out of bed, blah, blah. It's like my worst day is still doing okay. Now, barring surgery, because those were some genuinely terrible days. But um, yeah, so there's that. I apologize. I'm going slow through these. I got a question. I have a 1996 Plymouth Breeze, which is my personal car, and that the transmission is going out on. Should I do a manual swap? There's a lot that goes into a manual swap, but I think it would be cool. I hope you can make it to Australia. You could drive a few generations of Mitsubishi Magna. Yes, I would love that. Hi, what happened? I had abdominal surgery. I've had 35 surgeries. Believe me, they all suck. I hope your healing is fast and easy. Thank you, David. Hey, Zach, loves seeing the live streams. Thank you. I apologize for not doing more of them. Would you be open to reviewing a Lada again, one you haven't done yet? Yes, I will review every Lada that I am offered if I can get to it. Would you ever consider driving and reviewing a matte pink 1993 Dodge Stealth RT? 1,000%. Big fan of Pink Guy and his albums. On the CVT, the computer usually kicks in to limit your, yeah. Heal up quick, buddy. Hope to see you in PA soon. You can take the 200 out again for a spin and maybe take out my third gen Dodge. That'd be great. Thank you. Oh, that was Joe. I didn't even see. Joe, I need to make it to PA. I know I say that every year. I need to make it to PA again. Thoughts on the new Lexus ES Gen? We'll see. It's not my cup of tea, but we'll see. Wish you speedy recovery. Thank you. Just came across and started late. Hope all is well. When are we going to see the Thunderbird review? Should be a little bit after Christmas, if I remember correctly. But shoot me a text and I'll tell you the date after that. I can't remember when I scheduled it, and I can't check while I'm live streaming. Hey, I had no idea you went to surgery. Hope all is doing well. I appreciate it. I didn't make a post about it or anything, and I didn't want to post until I was at least semi better. Hey, Zach, heal up, feel better quickly. Thank you. What do you think of the K cars coming to America? Will they pass federal safety standards? And if so, will it be priced out of competition with add-ons needed? The K car thing. As much as in my heart of hearts, I would love to see K cars here and Honda Today turbos. And, I would love to buy a brand new Honda N box. With the tariffs, with the price of manufacturing, they're not going to be as cheap as people think. And they're not going to be as safe. When I think of cars, which is a lot, when I think of buying cars, spending a lot of money on cars, I always think about my girlfriend, because I think about what would I want her driving in. And in all honesty, as much as I love K cars here in America, she has to go on the highway. That's 80 miles an hour. I don't want her in a Honda N box doing 80 miles an hour. I want her to be safe. I want her, I want if a tractor trailer moves over, I don't want her to be squished like a bug. And so I would probably, for the price point, I would probably opt for something better. Now, if the K cars come here and they're $8,000 brand new, like, yeah, I'd buy one to go to Jewel. But I don't think that that's going to be the case. So as much as I would love to have K cars here, I don't think. I think some things are going to slip through, which are going to be cool. But I don't think it's going to be like a K car revolution. I would love to see you reviewing more commercial trucks, which would be awesome. Yeah, I mean, that's the goal. I was offered a Christmas trolley, but we just weren't able to make it work. Do your travel goals including meeting other car review royalty like UK Top Gear folks at Ed's from Ed's Auto Reviews? I've spoken to Ed before. He's used some of my clips in some of his videos. He shot me an email. Super nice guy through email. Yeah, I mean, that would be super cool. The issue with me is that I don't know how I would be able to do like collabs. I thought about maybe bringing the podcast back and only doing it like when I meet certain people, but also like um I don't want to be intrusive and things like that. I know a lot of I just saw Miles' comment. Thank you, Miles. I know you know my struggle of the BBL surgery. It's a tough one, but you know, us influencers, we gotta, you know, for the camera. Miles, you are laughing makes my stitches pull, so I appreciate that, buddy. um, so Miles is Cars with Miles, lovely, lovely human being also, which I've been watching all of his content while in bed rest. Buddy, I hope you're doing well. I hope we can meet up again in 2026. But so Miles is a good example of um, he's a friend of mine, awesome content creator. We've met up a couple times. I was in a couple of his video, or just one. I was in the was it the lyric V video, the very intro of. I don't have a format on my channel that is conducive to collabs. Like unless like they're in the car when I start, or like maybe I do a funny intro like Miles did with the lyric V. But so I would love to meet big car YouTubers, and it's always cool to meet them and talk shop and all that stuff. I just don't know if I would ever post it. And I also don't want to like shove a camera in someone's face that I like marginally know. I know Miles pretty well now, so I wouldn't be um too shy to stick a camera wherever in or around him. Uh but like I don't want to be, you know, um too out there. But like and I'll be all like if I go to Europe, like yes, I'd love to meet those guys. I just don't know if any content would come from that you guys would see other than me being like, yeah, I met him. He's cool or not. What's your favorite JDM car that isn't a Skyline or Sylvia? Because I know from your videos you love those. I love K cars. I love Honda Todays and Suzuki Alto Works, and K cars are just really fun because they are very different. They do feel very like I've driven like the Toyota Celsior, which was just the Lexus LS 400, and it's cool, but it's the same. It's just like driving in a mirror. I like driving stuff that feels very different. The K trucks feel very different. Just curious, whatever happened to Ask Zach videos and video essays? Um, Short answer, they take a lot of time and effort to produce, and they just I have to really sit down and work at them. And sometimes I'll set a week aside and I won't film cars for a week, and I'll do a video essay series, or I'll do not a video or not SZAC. SZACs are pretty quick. I kind of ran out of questions in all honesty. Um, I much would rather do live streams than ask Zach's, although they were fun. The video essays do take a lot of effort, and sometimes I put a lot of effort into them, a lot of time taken away from reviewing cars, and then they get 18 views, and I've just wasted 2 weeks that I could have filmed 15 car reviews. I did one video that does terribly. So, unfortunately, this is my job, and so I need to do things that I know will do money or get money. And so the video essays are very hit or miss. So we'll see. But I do want to bring them back. I do have ideas for them. I just need to make sure that they won't flop. Have you ever done a review on a GMC Envoy XL or plan on doing one in the future? If I could find one, I'd love to do one. I've done the Envoy XUV and I've done an Envoy Denali, but not an XL. Greetings from North Carolina. I appreciate what you do. Longtime subscriber. It's incredible what you are doing on this channel. Really appreciate you, Zach. God bless, brother. Much love and respect. Thank you. I appreciate that. My buddy has a 78 New Yorker that you would love to drive, I'm sure. Yes, I would. Yes, I would. That's a true statement. I love my turbo diesel as well. Wow, I'm really far behind. What do you think of the Volkswagen Corrado? I think they're cool and neat. They don't really do much for me. I drove a supercharged one out on Long Island, New York, a couple years ago, and it's cool, but I just don't find myself thinking about them all that much. But maybe I just haven't driven the right one. Hey Zach, how'd the surgery go? How are you feeling now? Surgery went well. I think I have a bunch of follow-ups, so we'll see if it worked or not. But I'm doing okay. I'm up and walking, which I couldn't say a couple days ago. I'm eating food, which I couldn't say a couple days ago. And I would show my scars, but they are not healed at the moment, and I don't want anyone to upchuck. How does insurance work with reviewing cars? I know how it is with brands give you stuff for the week, but how about random people's cars? I get this question all the time. Basically, the insurance plan that I have, and I've talked to them, anything really under like 200 grand is pretty fine. Um, I only drive the cars a very, very short amount of time. And a lot of that is for liability's sake. Like, if I can do a whole review inside a neighborhood, I will. Just because I don't want to take them out in rush hour traffic. I don't want to risk anything happening. But I do have coverage for those cars. When the cars are over 200 grand, there's a conversation that needs to be had. Um, and sometimes we can work something out like that. But as you guys see on the channel, and as you alluded to, manufacturers carry their own insurance. So like that Rolls Royce that I had that I took on a road trip, like that was full coverage by Rolls Royce. So like if I got hit, heaven forbid, in that car, I would be fine. Rolls Royce would cover it. I would be free and clear, unless it was my fault. So like if I got drunk and drove into a ditch, then Rolls Royce would make me pay for it, and that would be a very rough day. Um, but yeah, so basically anything under 200 is free and clear, which is 99.9% of cars that I do. So, my Buick has no cup holders. Most don't. I absolutely love your channel because unlike TFL and Doug, you review Everyman cars. I emailed you this, but I personally don't want to see limited edition fancy over style. Yeah, so like I'm still going to do like very fancy cars because it's a cool feather in the cap, and still to this day I have people in my life that I like went to high school with. I went to a wedding over the summer, and like the whole talk of the wedding, whenever anyone saw me, they were like, "Oh, I saw you at a Rolls Royce the other day," all this stuff, and reviewing um, the cool special cars I'm still always going to do, but I'm always going to also always do the everyman cars. What's your favorite small car that you reviewed? I love those particular reviews of yours in particular. I think I discovered your channel through the K car reviews. Yeah, K cars are my favorite. Honestly, the Honda today is so slept on. You can get them for like 5 or 6 grand. It's just a lovely little car. I think that's my go-to favorite. Wait, you got surgery? Yes, abdominal surgery. I want to see cars that people like me can resonate with. The '94 Camry. How often do people focus on cars like that? I want to see a car that I can see myself having. Yeah, me too. And like I said, I really want to do the whole gamut of cars. I want to do the $9 million Pagani. I also want to film the $3,800 beater that someone's barely keeping alive with 350,000 miles. I think they both have almost equal interesting stories. I think the 350,000 miles is actually a little bit more interesting. But like, I also want to show you guys like what is a $9 million car like. Not that I would ever be in the position to review that, but that's the sort of thing. I have a couple supercars that I'm talking to some owners about, and it's always fun to just see how the other side lives. Um, Oh, no, you're good. You're not telling me how to do. I just, yeah, I just want to explain myself of like I want to review everything, and so that is the Everyman car. I think those have interesting stories. I think the expensive cars have interesting stories. Driving that Rolls Royce, trying to put myself into the mindset of like, all right, if I was doing pretty well, like, why would I film one, or why would I buy one of these? So that's been pretty fun. Um, check out the movie. The movie used cars from '81. It featured the Centurion like mine in the movie beginning. Oh, okay. I just reviewed my 1996 Plymouth Breeze, and I was wondering how I don't stutter in my video. It comes with time. Um, First of all, that green breeze, shoot me a message, either on like Instagram, shooting underscore cars, or something else, because I'd like to check out your channel, and I'd be happy to give you some pointers or things like that. Um, The truth, there's two truths to not stuttering on camera. The first is that you get really, really used to it. I've done over 2,000 car reviews, meaning I have sat and talked to a camera at least 2,000 times. If you count stuff like this, probably 3 to 4,000 times. That's what, every single day for what, 5, 6, 7 years, something like that. The other truth about not stuttering in videos is you edit it out. That's it. I say probably 30 times a video. You won't really hear it because I cut out every stutter, every mispronunciation, every repeat word where I say that. You're only getting that last where I'm cutting it at the last one so you don't hear. That's a big reason you don't see my face throughout the entire video because I'm cutting it a lot. Sometimes, like every 2 or 3 seconds, there's a cut, there's a cut, there's a cut to make it sound a little bit smoother. And sometimes I pause and I have to gather my things. A lot of times, something in speech is you kind of, the human brain just really likes things in threes, where I'll say, like, I feel great in this car. I feel lovely in this car. I feel wonderful in this car. A lot of times when I'm doing that, I'll do like, I feel great in this car. I feel wonderful in this car. I feel fantastic in this car. And then I kind of, thank you, Turtle, too. Hydration check. Thank you. Medicine. Um, I'll cut that out. Exactly. So, anyway, long and short. I apologize. The long-winded ways. Since you like Pink Guy, what do you think of Joji? And if you do like him, are you excited for the new album? I was like I still am one of Joji's biggest fans. I've listened to everything so far. I've loved Smithereens so far. Old school Joji, like when I had my RX-7, like that was so iconic. He was my top artist for a long time. Now it's Suicide Boys. Um, that's my top artist. Um, Big fan. I don't really love the culture behind like Joji and Suicide Boys. I would never go to their concerts because I don't really fit in and it's very aggressive. But in the car, like I always have a Suicide Boys song on or a Joji song on. But I guess day and night, I guess, depending. Did you watch him as Filthy Frank? Yes, not as much, but yes. Um, N-Box Gang. Thought though I do also like Suzuki Spacia. Yes. Cars with Miles. What were you in the hospital for? Abdominal surgery. Cars are not camera shy, at least. True. Zach, I'm looking to buy. I apologize. I don't know what time it is. Oh wow, I'm like 10 minutes behind on these questions. I apologize. I'm looking to buy a new car for me pretty soon. I'm down to two cars: 2019 Lexus 250h hybrid, or a 2019 Ford Escape Titanium. I seem to be thinking this to death. Why are you in the hospital? First of all, go with the Lexus. Second of all, abdominal surgery. What do you think is the worst Toyota? BZ. I don't know why I had to hesitate. BZ4X. Hi, what was your favorite Lexus to film? I do love the old LSs, but the new LSs are also pretty nice. Oh, LC500. Duh. LC500. Doesn't Canada have a 15-year import rule compared to 25 in the US? Do you plan on visiting Canada to access a wider variety of imported cars? Yes, someone offered like an '07 Civic Type R from Canada, and I want to do that. Hold on. I apologize for a second. I have to make sure that my wound. Okay. All right, we're good. The wound is still wounding. In one of my videos I shouted you out. Oh, thank you. I appreciate that. I'd love to check it out. Shoot me like an email or something. Hello, I hope you're recovering well. I've been binge watching your videos, and I really appreciate you reviewing some of the lesser known cars. Hope we're getting more interesting cars. Yes. And I guess now I can take the time to say, I get this question every single year. So all 54 of you, um, in the chat, um, just so you guys know, at the start of the year, I do have some old stuff. I have a lot of new cars. The first half of January is like 2026, 2026, 2026, 2026. And I get this question every year of like, "Oh, are you done reviewing old cars?" No. Here in Chicago, it's very, very cold. If you could see out this window, it's snowy, it's icy, and they put salt down. So people take their cool cars and they put them away for winter. So I don't film a lot of cool classic old cars throughout the winter just because I don't have access to them. So you see a lot of new cars, which are equally important to review, and things like that. But people always ask me, they're like, "Oh, this channel's going to hell because he's not reviewing old cars anymore." I promise you, I'm reviewing old cars. I'm reviewing weird cars. I will get back to it. There's just, you know, the weather isn't nice right now. So yeah. Um, I enjoy the video essays of the Malaise era and Glacier National Park buses. Thank you. Have you ever heard of or driven a Zimmer Quicksilver? I have not. That'd be cool though. Just bought a 2010 Toyota Matrix. Yours was the first video I watched when doing some research. Oh, thank you. You should review the last generation Impala if I can find one. Um, I don't see them often. I hope you feel better. Thank you. Thank you. What do you think of the Suzuki Cappuccino? Love it. Don't fit in it. I had to drive it with my right arm out the window and shifting inside the car. It was February, if I remember correctly. I did not fit in it. Dang, bro. Hope you're okay. Watch your Imperial video today. Oh, that rhymed, and thank you. 1992 Geo Tracker would be cool too. If I can find one. Again, here in the Midwest, they're just not really very existent. Would you ever be interested in reviewing a tractor? Yes, I was supposed to review a Ford 8N, but it was pouring rain that day, and obviously it had no cab, and I couldn't get my camera equipment wet. Hi, Zach. I like the cars you present in the channel. Hope you get well soon. Thank you. Tractor like farm tractor or big rig? I'd do both. Any type of tractor, really. They are classics and modern day tractors. Agreed. Thoughts on the Nissan Titan? I just bought an oddball, fully optioned single cab XD. Even had a camper custom shell made for it. I would love to review that. I haven't done a Titan in years, and I never did the XD was the diesel, if I remember correctly. Very interesting. I had dinner with Nissan's product team in at SEMA in Vegas, and I asked them, I was like, "So the Titan coming back?" And they're like, "No." Basically, the full size truck market is just too competitive, and they would either have to sink billions of dollars into it, or it's just not going to compete. And so they're just not going to compete. So congrats on the successful, praying for a speedy recovery. Thank you, Froggy, man. Every time I get a notification on Patreon on 90s, 2000s American luxury or duty truck or Japanese luxury economy car, my day gets better. Oh, thank you. Glad. It's actually a life skill to learn to structure a phrase in the most efficient way. It is, and I've gotten a lot better at that, but editing also helps. Hey, Zach, love the channel. Do you think GM is going to keep Hummer around, add a range extender motor like what Ford did with the Lightning, or axe the brand altogether? So, Hummer isn't a brand. A lot of people think that. Hummer is a GMC product. It is a GMC Hummer. When I signed for my loan of the Hummer, it was a GMC loan. So I think this, and I'm not like trying to correct you or anything, but I think that actually leaves them in a very good spot because they can just kind of cut the Hummer and GMC will be fine. They didn't put infrastructure in, they didn't build Hummer dealerships again, they didn't spent a lot of money, but they didn't spend as much money as they could have. Range extender, maybe, because Hummer isn't married to the EV idea. It's not. I mean, it is the Hummer EV, but it's also just everyone knows them as Hummer. Where like Tesla doing a range extender would be really weird because they're known for the electric cars, um, things like that. So I'm back, Zach. Need a conversation with my parents at the moment. All good, Retro Steven. I appreciate it. Ever thought of making a picture collage of every car you review because you do amazing cinematography in your cars? It'd be awesome. There would be way too many. If you want to take my thumbnails, be my guest. A collage of 2,000 cars would be very time consuming to make. Why don't you film how much leg room you have while sitting in the back seats of these cars? So, I do now. For 2026, and I forget who said this, but someone commented on my Audi A8 video because I did that rear seat handheld. Someone was like, "Oh, that's a way better way of doing backseat reviews." So starting in 2026, every backseat review is point of view. So I'm holding the camera, looking forward, and you can see how much leg room. I don't know why I was stuck in my old ways of mounting the camera somewhere and talking like Top Gear. And so for 2026, that has changed. You see physically how much leg room I have. So that is changing. Where did my comments go? Do you watch? Oh, that was. How do you feel about the Kia Soul being discontinued? I think it's unfortunate because there's one less Econobox on the road, and I sort of see, yes, as a PT Cruiser, the 2010s and 20. Yeah, I think people need more cars like the Kia Soul. I think the Kia Soul gets dogged on unfairly. It's a very good car. Joji will always be my top artist, especially more now than ever because of some of the songs relating to me. Agreed. How many Ford Explorer Sport Track weird trucks that you review? I've reviewed one. Would love to review more. Do you think? Do you know how to drive unsynchronized transmissions, the kinds that use old trucks and stuff pre-war? Yes. I actually, I don't want to show you my whole house or my parents' house, but literally directly under me, where I am sitting right now, is a 1931 Ford Model A. It is my family's vehicle. We've had it in the family since the 80s. It has an unsynchronized transmission. I have not driven it in that I haven't driven hours in like almost 2 years, like a year and a half, but I've driven other unsynchronized transmissions. It's not my favorite thing to do in the world just because I want to respect someone else's vehicle and they're very easy to mess up. But I have driven them. I have a lot of experience behind the wheel of a Model A. And so it doesn't scare me. It's just always like one of those things like, in all honesty, when some people are like, hey, my car's automatic, I go, great. Like, because I don't have to deal with a clutch. I've gotten in cars and the clutch is on its very last leg, and now it's like down to me over the next hour to not destroy that last percentage. And I have faith in myself, but I don't want to be the person that, breaks it. So, sorry if I asked this before, but have you considered opening a merch store and selling photos and prints of your favorite cars you've reviewed? I love your camera work and the effort you put in is great. Your thumbnails. Um, Merch stores are tricky because there's two devils, right? One, I want the stuff to be high quality. If you're going to spend your hard earned money on something, I don't want it to be like a drop shipper, like mug that's my logo screen printed on it. And the other thing is that, well, having inventory is a huge overhead, and there's not a whole lot of money to be made at my scale. Mr. Beast can sell a million T-shirts and make $1 million. Um, there's no good like middle ground for that. I would like to do T-shirts at some point. I would like to do stickers at some point. I did do stickers for a while, um, but it just got to be a lot because I was every sticker that I sold, I was putting in an envelope and driving to the post office, which just doesn't really make sense. And then the other thing is like I travel a lot, so like the 10 days that I'll be in Japan, if you ordered a sticker on day one, I'm not even shipping it out for 10 days. That's just not fair. So I don't want to do it crappy. I want to do it right. So we'll see. Would love to see you review an Ford EXP Mercury LN7 if you can even find one. I'm not sure I know what that is, so I would love to. My cars are under the cover till spring. Fully agreed. Did you ever get a chance to drive a Model A this year? No, and I am kicking myself for not doing that. My goal next year is to drive it a fair amount. Late here, what kind of surgery did you have? I had abdomen surgery. Doing okay though. Do you watch Doug DeMuro? And if so, what are your views on him? Yes. I watched Doug DeMuro for a very long time. I don't really watch his reviews much anymore unless it's something like super, super interesting. I watch his podcast religiously. I watch his podcast every single Friday when it comes out because it's really concise. It's really enthusiast oriented car news, which like I get car news from every sort of angle. So like it's laid out really nice. I like the banter. I think it's interesting, and I think the podcast is a lot more human of it. The quirks and features is just seems very much like an act, which it is. I mean, like, even when I do my reviews, like to a point, as real as I try to be, like there are times where I'm sitting in the car and I'm like, "What's up?" It's you flip a switch, and so I listen to his podcast quite a bit. I don't always agree with him, but it's interesting. LOL. As soon as you read the comment about reviewing the tractor, I fell Ford 8N. Can you get your hands on a Celestic or Celestique? I've been trying. Cadillac is very, very selective with who they let film. I think what it's going to come down to, because I really want to, I'm going to email them and just say, I will do all the legwork. I'll put myself up in a hotel in Detroit and come to you. I'm never going to see a Celestic in the Chicagoland area. Our fleet just isn't that big. We have two Cadillacs in the fleet right now. The Optic, and we had an Escalade V over the summer. I think now it's just the Optic, maybe a Lyric V. So the Chicagoland doesn't get all of the press cars, so that's never going to happen. Don't you think Polestar drives better than a Tesla? Yes, I still think that they're overpriced and glitchy. I would love to see the review of an OBS 9th gen mid 90s Ford F-150 extended cab with Mark 3 conversion. And I'd love to film one. Excuse me. I would love to see a review of the Polestar 4. You know, since I've been on bed rest, I've been doing like 9 hours a day on TikTok. TikTok, I found a Polestar dealer near me. They have a TikTok account, so I might reach out to them. But I reviewed the Polestar 3 and didn't like it. So I don't want to like go to a dealer and be like, I have a history of hating your product, but can I review yours? I feel like Mitsubishi should rebadge a Z with different bumpers and call it an Eclipse or Starion would be better than nothing. What do you think? I feel like it would look good actually if they did it right. That's actually a pretty good idea. Um, they would have to do more than bumpers because the Z is such an iconic line. They would have to do more than bumpers, but a rebody Z would be pretty cool. Have you ever had a press car break down? Yes. Um, two. The Cadillac Escalade IQ, the electric IQ, bricked itself in my driveway. It was undrivable for a day. It said conditions not met and wouldn't let me go into gear. I did end up calling a tow truck, but then we didn't end up needing it. Another car, like a week later, was the Volvo XC90 or EX90. And that was also electric and did the same thing. So that's super cool. Apologies if you hear my dog barking. Have you only review cars 2010 and older unless it's rare? I'm gonna review everything. Do you like Savage Geese? Yes, I know them. I've met them several times in person. Um, they're nice people. They do quality work too, and we pull from the same press car fleet. So like, if you see a car on their channel that looks like the car on my channel, it's because it's the same car. Would you ever review an Edsel? Yes. Have you ever seen and or driven a Ford Probe? No, but I've done the Mazda 626, which was and MX6, which were same chassis, but I haven't actually done a Probe. Can you review a 2013 Pathfinder or 14 where it doesn't shift and compare it to the vid drop today? I could try to find one, yeah. Okay, I'm gonna go big luck to you. Thank you. Now that's an interesting family collection. Thank you. Hey, Zack Surgery. I hope you're okay. Thank you. Getting better. XD is extra duty. Diesel was optional. Minus this 5.6 gas motor. I'll submit my Titan to your website. I'm in Ohio, but down for a drive to meet somewhere. Obviously, when you're all healed up. Thank you. I appreciate that. Depending on where you are in Ohio, I might be able to swing that. But if you could meet, that would definitely speed things up. Zach, when you reviewed the 2014 Ford F-150 FX4 with the Swiss utility cap, was it originally had non-towing mirrors until it was upgraded? Yes, I believe it did have upgraded mirrors, but I don't know for sure. You've driven all over the country. What states had the best and worst food in your opinion? Ooh, I can't think of like a worst food. I mean, like the worst food has just been like the stretch of Nebraska where there's only truck stops for like 200 miles. Cause then you have like, a Hardee's or Carl's Jr. for you West Coast people, or McDonald's or like a Sbarro pizza. Best food. I love Northeastern food. So we'll see. Um, really appreciate what you're saying about having quality merch or not at all. Yeah, I mean, and that's really how I feel too. Have you reviewed a Dodge Stratus? No, but I've done the Plymouth Breeze. Ford Escort EXP. Have you thought of reviewing a Corolla XRS? Yeah, if I could find one. You should do a review of a Benz Patent motor wagon. If I could find one that someone would let me drive, I 100% would. Who would win a fight, Ford Windstar versus Mercury Villager? I would take Windstar all day, just because the Mercury Villager was a Nissan Quest. Doesn't even know who it is. When do you get your hands on the new Prelude? I don't know. They seem to be hitting dealers soon, and I might start hitting up dealers just to see if I can get in early. If not, in the Honda fleet, definitely by the spring. Um, you should look at driving 1910 Chevy if I could find one. Have you ever reviewed a Mazda Speed Protege? No, but I would like to. Do you only review cars that are submitted to you, or do you seek out specific cars for reviews? Most, so I get reviews three different ways: personal cars that are submitted to me, dealerships, and manufacturers. Manufacturers usually reach out to me, but I can also request them. Dealerships sometimes reach out to me, but I can also reach out to them. And then personal cars, that's all cars that just come into me. Very rarely, like if someone's like my aunt has, this super rare car, then I would go ahead and be like, hey, my name is Zach. I review cars. Would you be okay if I borrowed your car for an hour? But personal cars, if they're just submitted to me. Um, I honestly quite honestly, I don't have the time to like go around and like if I see a 97 Accord of like leave a business card or things like that, or they could be a psychopath, they could be a murderer, who knows. So all the personal cars, those have been submitted to me, or it's like buddies who like I have a lot of friends that text me and they're like, pick this up last week. What's your schedule like? And I go, I could do Tuesday or Wednesday, and they go, okay, great. So yes. See if you could get your hands on a 1903 Model A. Would love to. If you were to review cars in Australia, what car would you be the most excited to review? Any old Holden. If I went to Australia, I would want to spend time, excuse me, reviewing cars from Australia, of the people of Australia, built in Australia. So that would probably be it. Like an older Holden, like a 70s or 80s Holden would be pretty cool. Um, Ford discontinued the Lightning truck. What's the successor? I don't know. And that's, I'll be honest, I loved the Lightning. I said in my video, I would much rather drive a Ford Lightning every day than a 5-liter F 150. It was just a smoother, faster, better experience. It's kind of sad that they took it away. But no one bought it, so they're going to always follow the money. Have you reviewed a 2017 to 2020 Lincoln Continental? Yes. I think so. Honda Odyssey or Toyota Sienna? I would probably go Honda Odyssey. Can you review a 2013 Kia Rio? Sure. Have you ever done a review in Eastern Washington? Not Eastern. I've done a fair amount in the Seattle area, but not Eastern. Love you, buddy. Rest up, get better. Thank you. Oh, thank you, Robbie. I appreciate that. Best 4x4 in the market. What is it? Well, that depends. To daily drive or to off road? To off road, I'd probably do Bronco. To daily drive, I don't know. Also, kind of a Bronco. I do like Broncos. Sorry. Am I still streaming? Did it cut out for a second? My screen went black for a second. Can someone put in the comment section if it's still good? Yes. Yes. Okay. Cool. All right. Sorry, the screen went black for a second. Which I'll probably stay on for like another 20-ish. So get your final questions in. Hopefully, I can get to them. But yeah, then I gotta take some medicine and lay down. In doubt, Toyota always true. What are your thoughts on the fourth gen Camaro? Fourth gen Catfish. I like it. I've driven a couple. Zach, how do you plan your travel for reviews? Have you been to New England area? What were your thoughts if so? I love New England. It's my favorite part of the country. I've been there several times. A lot of family from there as well. Um, Travel now is different than what it used to be. So back in the day, pre 2023, if I traveled, or like 2023 and 2024 too, basically, if I noticed that I was getting a lot of review offers from a certain place, I would go, okay, this is worth the trip. Because it has to be monetarily beneficial, right? So, like, I need like 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 to 20 cars to review in a place in order to justify spending the money on travel and hotels and food and all that stuff. So back in the day, I used to do that, and I'd be, when I went and visited Joe at Xenon Z Car, like I drove out and I did a couple reviews in Ohio, stayed the night, and then I drove out and did a couple reviews in Pennsylvania and stayed the night, and then I did a couple reviews in New York and stayed the night. Then I did a couple reviews in North Jersey and stayed the night, and then drove back home. Now, because I'm in the fortunate position to where a lot of manufacturers are starting to fly me to places, um, I have a couple press trips lined up. I can kind of parlay that. So if I'm going to California, a good example is I was just in Phoenix for the Nissan Sentra launch in early October. So Nissan hit me up. They said, "Hey, we would love to bring you out for the Nissan launch in Phoenix." I said, "Great." Well, I said, "Thank you," blah blah. And they go, "All right, your flight in is day one. Your flight out is day three." I email them back and I go, "Hey, can I make my flight out like day six, and I'll cover the extra hotels?" And every single time so far, they've been like, "Yeah, then no problem." So then because I get the flights for free, I just have to do 2 nights in a hotel. Then I stayed in Phoenix for 2 extra nights. I filmed like 8 or 9 cars. That makes it just monetarily work better. Plus, I'm already going to be in Phoenix. The press trips are usually like 1 day in and out super quick. So I got to stay there a little bit longer, got to eat some Phoenix food, and things like that. So that's how travel usually works now. I'm kind of more up to the whim of the manufacturers, but you know, it's kind of a better way to do it. Uh, how come Mark III conversion is always focused on comfort, luxury, aesthetic features, not commercial vehicles? I don't know. I love your yellow '07 GLI Fahrenheit in Minnesota. Oh, I have a in Minnesota. Would love for you to review it, but I figured you already reviewed a GTI version, which basically said I would do the Fahrenheits are special, and I haven't done a Fahrenheit Jetta. I did a Fahrenheit GTI way, way long ago, so I'd be down for that. And I need to go up to Minnesota this year. I need to do that. Best 4x4 Tacoma 4Runner. I do like the 4Runner. I just don't like dailying 4x4s. Will you do Collector Car Feed podcast? Not tomorrow, but probably soon. Thank you, Landon. Thank you for the message I saw you just sent me. I appreciate it. Hope you're doing well as well. Thanks a bunch for the Mazda 3 recommendation. Absolutely loving my 2021 NA all-wheel drive blue hatch. Great car for the money. Dealers are horrendous though. Damage the trim. Hope to keep yours. Hope to keep for years to come. Yes, I actually do have an update on my Mazda 3 as well. There's a bag back there. While I was in the hospital, I got the title in the mail. So I now officially own my car, where I was still paying it off. If you could review one car, any make and model, what would it be? Probably a Lamborghini Murcielago. This is my childhood bedroom, and my parents have since painted it. But there used to be like two Lamborghini Mercy posters on that wall, and there was one between the windows of this wall. And yeah, so that's just a childhood dream. I don't think that video would do well, but yeah, that would just be like, you know, what do you require for a review? A car for at least an hour and a half in working order and somewhere to drive it. Those are my review. Those are my requirements. What was the oldest Toyota you've ever reviewed? Probably something from the 70s, maybe early 80s. Have you ever reviewed a Mazda Cosmo? No, I've ridden one. They're lovely, but they are very rare. Would you daily a CVT Nissan? No. Do you have a favorite motor, favorite transmission? RB26 is probably my favorite motor. Transmission, good old stick shift, probably like a Mazda Miata stick. Have you thought about reviewing cars from the Lane Motor Museum in Nashville, Tennessee? They have a lot of older, quirky European cars. Yes, I don't want to expand on that, but I have already talked to them, and I don't like talking about future plans because I have this gut feeling that they're not going to come through. But we Nathan messaged me at the beginning of February, and I'll talk to you about it because hopefully it'll happen by then. I'm going to Nashville in January. Still listening. Great, 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 great. Have you driven? They even have a car driven by an airplane propeller. I've seen that. That'd be pretty cool. What has been your favorite new car you've driven this year? I thought about doing like an end of year wrap up. Um, there were a couple cars that surprised me. What did I just have? The Armada Pro 4X, and that review won't come out till January. But the Armada Pro 4X was really good. I love the Armada. Like regular traffic cars that really shocked me, like I'd say probably that one. Zach, I didn't mention addressed by the F-150 or half-ton chassis. Do you think? Oh, do you any of the Japanese alphabets? I don't know any Japanese words. What is a car you're looking forward to reviewing in the near future after your recovery? The press car I have outside. Next week, I get the Dodge Charger 6-pack, so I get the gasoline Dodge Charger next week. They actually drop it off on Christmas Eve. Very excited about that. Here's the thing: is that like I have a lot of things that I'm very excited about to review. I don't have them on the schedule, and so I don't want to like say like I'm excited to review this, and then I don't end up reviewing it. So yeah. Too bad my wife's Scout isn't finished. It would be cool to review of a 65 International Scout 4x4. Whenever it is finished, shoot me an email. I'm headed out. Hope you feel better soon. Love the videos. Thank you. Would you ever travel to Canada, review a car, or are you restricted to US? I will 100% go to Canada. I hope in the next year. We'll see. There's a lot more logistics that go into international travel. It's not just me hopping across the border with my camera. And so, but yes, I'll go to Canada. If you missed it in the chat, what is that? Sal Paca 53. I'm going to Japan in February, so international is definitely my end goal. Not even a Saturn guy, more VW, Audi, but the Saturn show you went to was unique and love your coverage, man. Feel better. Thank you. Appreciate that. Really appreciate you answering all these questions. Hope you heal up quickly. Thank you. Would you re-review cars from your early years of your channel with a new perspective? I would re-review similar cars. I don't think I would feature like if I reviewed my friend's car in 2018, I don't think I would film the exact same car again, but I had been going back and like filming similar cars. And I think it's good to every 4 or 5 years re-review a car and see what's changed and maybe something has come out about reliability that I couldn't say in the first video because it just wasn't an issue. You should review my 2011 Cadillac CTS that was previously owned by George Washington. Interesting. I probably not but a George Washington. Your old Mazda review were wonderful. My dad. Someone just submitted a car. By the way, when you submit a car to my website, it shows up as a notification on my phone. There have been times where I've been on the toilet and I'm like, oh, someone has a Dodge Avenger for me to review, which is not true. No one's ever offered me a Dodge Avenger because I want to review one and no one has offered. But you get my point. Sometimes I'm driving, which I shouldn't be looking at my phone. I don't look at my phone while driving. Just kidding. But yeah, your old Mazda review were wonderful. My dad owns a 1986 626 GC with a 1.6. Not fast, but it's fun to drive. I do love those cars. I had a Mazda GLC 1985, and it was unkillable. I thought I said unlikable. Congrats on Mazda ownership. I hope you get well soon. Thank you. What surgery did you have? Abdominal surgery. I would show you, but you don't want to see the scar. Are you planning to do a sack lunch cruise again in 2026? Yes, and I will try to do a better job of making it well known when it is. Would you daily a 2005 Ford Crown Vic? Wouldn't be my first choice, but I would. My buddy has an '07 Legacy Spec B NCT if you want to review it. Yeah, I'd definitely be down. Congrats on ownership. In your opinion, what mass market car model has the worst value proposition right now? Jeep Grand Wagoneer, Wagoneer S. I think a lot of luxury cars also are just not good prices. All right, where is it? Okay, now Bradley Meyer 9775 asking about the Dodge Avenger. That's going to be the last question that I'm going to do because I do have to pop off here in a second. And we've been going for 80 minutes. So my Buick's got the 455 and the TH400 transmission. It's a brute to drive. I'd love to drive it. Would it ever be possible to review the GM EV1? I would love to talk to those guys and review it. So maybe when it's up and running, maybe. Is there even any left? I don't know. Opinion on Volvo S90? Lovely car. I don't know if I would want to own one for reliability. Hey, Zach, I submitted my car, maybe both of them. I'm assuming that if you were interested, it might take a while to respond. Will your email stand out in my spam filled inbox? I don't know. I don't know how your inbox looks. Um, but I get this question all the time. Like, I submitted my car and I never heard from you. Every car that gets submitted, I look at. I don't physically have the time to respond to every message. So if you send me a car from the Chicagoland area, you're probably going to get a response within a week of me like, let's set up a time. Great, wonderful. If you submit your car from, I got an offer from Central India. It was it's one of those like Neo, not Neo. It had three. It's like a smart car, Tatra Nano from India. Someone offered it. I have no way of getting there anytime soon, and I'm not going to plan a trip for one car. Tata, thank you, not Tatra. Tata, Tata Nano. I sound like a baby now. So if you submit your car and you're in Montana, I got one recently from Billings, Montana. I don't have the time to say thank you so much. I will let you know, and then have them reply and ask questions. I just can't spend my whole day emailing. I would love to get a secretary to handle that. But I do see all the cars that get submitted. Um, and so I hope when I reply, I hope it goes to the right inbox, but it would come from pradelreviews@gmail.com. So I don't know if you can like make a filter that accepts that or something. Think about having you review my 1996 Plymouth Breeze once it's fixed. Is that something you'd want to do? Yeah, I'd be down. Hey, Zach, how you doing? Been better, but getting better. Do you ever agree with Haggerty's annual bold list of future collector cars that will grow in value? Here's the thing. I know nothing about car value. You would think I drive cars all the time. I don't understand markets. I don't understand market changes. I don't understand what makes a car appreciate then depreciate, then appreciate then depreciate. So I looked at their list and they're like, these are the cars that are going to appreciate in 2026. And I go, okay. I'm not like buying cars all the time. And so it has very little effect on me. But they have a lot of analysts. I know a couple people that work at Haggerty. They put a lot of time and effort into that. People think that it's just like, oh, they saw that like a lot of Gallardos are being sold recently, so let's put that on the list. No, like it is analytical, it's trended, it's thought through. So peace, Zach. Have fun in Japan. Thank you, Retro Steven. I appreciate it. Zach, I hope you have a wonderful Christmas and time in Japan. Thank you very much. I need a hug. I got transferred to another school and say goodbye to all my friends. That is tough. Never want to be the new kid in school, but you'll get through it and you'll make good friends as well. Ab surgery is rough. Heal up. Thank you. What is the best original Dodge Avenger, like from 1995 to 2000, or the one I would love to do the 2008 to 2014 because that's like what I grew up around. Um, but yeah, so thank you everyone for joining in on the live stream. Maybe I'll do another one of these maybe sometime next week in or around Christmas if I'm still on bed rest. I can't. The big issue is I can't drive for a while because I'm on pain meds. Um, but B, like core wise, like I can't twist, and I can't carry anything more than 5 pounds for like 3 weeks. So my equipment case is rather heavy. So I don't know how I'm gonna do some reviews. But so I might have, I'll probably have the time to do another one of these some point in the future. So thank you to everyone that joined in. Thank you for all the well wishes. Appreciate everyone. And yeah, if you have any questions that are really itching and burning, shoot them a message on my Instagram. So take care, everyone. Stay safe and happy holidays. Sorry, I didn't mean to block the camera, but the X sign is up here. So bye, guys.